How to get an internship on Wall Street. Instructors allowed to post the plan to the web. Well, what are my expectations for this project? My expectation for this project is to land an internship on Wall Street. 2, to become knowledgeable on financial markets, economy, and financial institutions. 3, learn fundamental finance concepts. The purpose of this personal improvement project is to help guide and provide students with the necessary steps, tools, and knowledge to prepare them for the recruitment process so they can attain a summer internship in the financial services industry, also known as Wall Street. For my sources of data, I consulted Angela Temi, MLT coach. She's my coach that has helped me get an internship on Wall Street, and she has helped others in the past. The optimistic estimate that she came up with was 2 months, the realistic estimate was 5 months, and the pessimistic estimate was 7 months. After completing the PERT analysis, I came up with the expected duration of 4.83 months. Well, why is it Angela Temi gives me these estimates? Well, the length of my project can really vary depending on when the applications are due. Some banks can actually change it at the last minute. It also depends on when I'm granted an interview. They can let us know within 1 day or they can let us know within 2 weeks. It really depends on the bank. Then we also have interviews. Some banks may have interviews for several days, some may just have them for 1 day. The next other factor could be the decision response. They can get back to you within a day or they can take up to a week, depending on how many candidates they have. There's also a wait list. You might not know that you get the offer after other people have deferred the offer, and also with networking. Just because you email certain professionals do not mean that they will email you right away, therefore extending your project. In this slide is a list of activities necessary to complete the project. We have 11 distinct tasks in order to complete this project. The first one is the Wall Street Journal, the second is Vault Guides, the third is to draft a resume and a cover letter, the fourth is clothing, the fifth is career consulting, the sixth is attending an event, the seventh is registration, the eighth is research, the ninth one is application process, and the 10th one is interview process, and then after that, the last activity is the decision process. As we can see in our first activity at the Wall Street Journal, first we have to purchase the Wall Street Journal, which will take about a day. Then we should have it delivered, which we should expect it to be the first issue to be delivered in 5 days. After that, you have to read the Wall Street Journal for the next 100 days. Now, when we started out with the Wall Street Journal, the next thing that we have to do is the Vault Guides. You have to purchase the Vault Guides online, have it delivered within 5 days, and then begin reading it. After reading for 20 days, you should then be able to draft your cover letter and your resume. First, you create your resume, and then you will print it. Next, based off the information in your resume, you can draft the cover letter. Then you should print the cover letter. After that, based off the information of your cover letter and resume, you're able to then make a 90-second elevator pitch that will help sell your candidacy. After that, you should create a thank you letter. Now, at the same time, when you're buying the Wall Street Journal, you should be able to purchase clothing. You purchase new suits, and then you have them delivered. After that, you have them delivered, you should have them tailored to fit your size. After that, you have career consulting. You should consult with an expert at the Career Center on your resume and cover letter. After that, you should have it revised, and then you should print out your resume. The next activity that will be recorded is that you have to attend events. The first event that you have to attend is the campus recruiting event. This will give you the permission to attend any other receptions held by Georgetown University. Next, you attend a networking reception with each bank. This should take you about 10 days. Next, you should email contacts that you've networked with. After you email the contacts that you've networked with, now we have registration. You should register your information online via the career website. Next, you should upload your resume and upload your transcript. This should take about a day. Please do not do this during high traffic times on the website. After this, we have research. Research is contingent upon Activity 29, which is email contacts you network with, because once you email them, you can learn more about the culture. You'll choose the banks based off the people that you network with, and then you'll research the banks online. After that, you should network with more professionals to learn about the culture and add banks that and now you should add links that you apply to on your registration that you've done, and that's for Activity 30. Next, you have the application process. You should now revise your cover letter for each bank based off the information that you've done during your research. Next, you should submit your resume and cover letter via the career website. Next, you still have to apply and submit your application to each bank on each of their individual websites. After that, you should wait for a response to let you know if you've been granted an interview. After that, you now have to go through the interview process. Now you have to schedule an interview, which will only take you about 1 day. After you schedule the different interviews, you will then actually have to interview the different banks. This will usually happen within 7 days. After that, you have a second round of interviews, which is contingent upon your success on the first interview. After your second round of interviews, you then have to wait for a decision. You then hopefully will get the offer, and you will receive an offer letter 3 days after your decision. After you receive your offer letter, you have 2 weeks in or 14 days to decide. In the next slide, we have the Gantt chart. The Gantt chart will show how tasks are interrelated. As you can see, the Wall Street Journal, the Vault Guide, and clothing activities are not related. However, we do see that the Vault Guide is connected with the drafting cover letter and resume activity. Then we see that is related to the career consulting. As you can see, the Gantt chart shows what is interrelated. In this slide, what we see here is the critical path. Now, the critical path will tell us the earliest start times and the earliest end date for our project. The earliest start time for this project is November 2nd, 2007, and the earliest end time would be April 2nd, 2008. Now, the critical path here is what's highlighted in bold, the arrows. So as you can see, our critical path starts with the purchase of the Vault Guides, and it ends with the decision. What is also highlighted in blue is also a part of the critical path. As you can see, the things that are not on the critical path will be including the Wall Street Journal and clothing and registration. In this slide, we use a status report to document our progress 1/3 of the way. This is in the month of December. One of our late tasks is to read the Wall Street Journal. This was completed 95%. Just because I was not able to read the Wall Street Journal every day in order to complete the project 100%. The task to be scheduled this month is to attend the campus recruiting, attend each networking event. In this slide, we have a status report. This status report will document our progress 2/3 of the way. Now, we don't have any late tasks, but we do have tasks to be scheduled this month. We have to revise our cover letter, submit the resume and cover letter via the career website, apply and submit application on each of the bank's website individually, wait for a response, then schedule an interview if you've been granted, and then we have to interview. The task that should be scheduled next month is the second round of interviews. Now because I have been granted an interview, I was able to complete all of these tasks 100%. The issues and actions for this plan may have been if I did not receive an interview, but I did. The logistics of this plan is that banks may take too long to respond to students if they are granted an interview or if they have been advanced, therefore prolonging this project. However, this did not happen in my case. Now we need to know the lessons that we learned from completing this project. Let's talk about what we should have improved on. We should have improved on the allocation of time and money. Because I am a student, a full-time student here at Georgetown, it was very hard to allocate time for this internship program. And allocation of money because I should have spent less money on suits. Also, an important thing was consistency. I should have been completing the application hours before it was due, before its due date. I should have consistently done them ahead of time. Next, I should have been more organized in terms of preparing my documents for interviews and researching. However, my project successes were networking. I was able to build a large network. Second, I was able to attend all the events to learn about the different banks. And finally, I had a great resume and cover letter, which gave me the opportunity to interview with different banks. Well, how did I end this project? My earliest end date for this project was April 2nd, 2008. However, I did accept my offer April 1st, 2008. The estimated duration for this project was 6 months. Now, unfortunately, but still fortunately, I only had one offer from Goldman Sachs. So I did not have to do